Anna's Way.
Had a way about her.
Eventually recording an album, Beautiful Life, to honor Anna's life. With help from more than 40 musicians and technicians who volunteered their time.
They said, you know, we want to donate, 100% donate the production of a recording at whatever time you feel that you're able to do it.
Tonight, that album now nominated for 2 Grammys.
If Anna's life had been longer, she would have found herself on records because she had a beautiful voice. She loved to perform. She loved who she was. She was a very proud little girl.
Now hoping she'd be proud of Dad. And much more on the Anna Grace Project on our website. I'm David Muir. We'll see you tomorrow. Good.
Tonight, an exclusive interview with the former Prime Minister of Israel. Tonight, we sit down with the former Prime Minister Ehud Barak to talk about the war in Syria, the growing influence of Iran and ISIS. That's
for a list of the Suncoast's cheapest gas, go to mysuncoast.com.
You've upgraded all your old technology, so what about this? It's time to get into the new with Ford. New lets you see around corners. New gives you a hand when yours are full. New can practically park itself. New is Ford, America's best-selling brand. Get into an Escape with 0% financing for 60 months plus $3,090 in savings, or lease one for $219 per month only at your local Southern Ford dealer.
You're gonna like the big savings during Honda's President's Day sales event. Keep your Presidents and get a new redesigned 2016 Accord.
Honda, I like it.
Every Honda Accord is on sale with 0 down payment and 0 first month's payment, or just $199 a month. Get an Accord for $199 a month or 0 due at signing with available Honda Lane Watch, Brake Assist, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and more. This week at your local Honda dealer. Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. Topping our news tonight, it's every parent's nightmare, and it is happening more and more often. We are less than 2 months into the new year, and for the 4th time already, a Manatee school is the subject of a threat. Today, Lakewood Ranch High School had extra security after a student reported overhearing a threat that another student would open fire at the school. Deputies from the Manatee County Sheriff's Office investigated and were able to determine there was no real threat. But the Sheriff's Office says these days you can't take chances.
In light of what's happened around the country and even around the world, everything that comes in, you have to react like it could be a serious and credible threat.
3 other schools, Manatee High, Lincoln, and Memorial Middle and Buffalo Creek Middle School, were named in online threats over the last few weeks. The students who allegedly made the threat at Lakewood Ranch High School could face criminal charges. He was cleared by a Sarasota police investigation, but Booker High School's athletic director is resigning. In a statement published by the Herald Tribune, Rod Dragish says it is in his best interest to step down. He did not identify the reason. Earlier this week, police said that they would not pursue charges against Dragish. He was accused of taking money out of a ticket box at a school basketball game. Dragish says he was only making change. We have not been able to independently confirm Dragish's decision at this time. Florida Power and Light is breaking ground on its 3rd solar energy site in the state, and this one is right here on the Suncoast. This empty field in Parrish will soon be home to more than 300,000 solar panels. The panels will more than triple FPL's solar energy production. Right now, renewable energy only makes up about 1% of FPL's overall energy production.
They can now put into use, add to the capacity of that on beautiful days like this, and have that diversity of energy supply that overall is better for Florida.
Construction at the site is expected to be complete by the end of the year. Governor Rick Scott's billion-dollar tax cut plan is getting a thumbs up in the State House, despite some Senate Republicans calling it irresponsible. The Florida's House voted 96-17 to pass the tax cuts. The package includes tax breaks on commercial leases and eliminates a tax on manufacturing machinery. Consumers will also see a year-long sales tax exemption on college textbooks, but some Democrats say the extra money should go to funding services.
We have too many needs in this state. You know, when we cut these taxes, there's a finite amount of money.
We've made the decision that we can grow the economy and meet the needs of our state and care for the vulnerable, not by having more taxes and higher taxes, but by having more taxpayers.
Florida's Senate has not yet voted on it. The Republican budget chief says it would be fiscally irresponsible to pass such a large amount of tax cuts. The controversial Patty the dog case in Manatee County has paved the way for a new state law. The bill could spare the lives of dogs that cause severe injuries to people. The bill allows exceptions where a dog can avoid being put down if it is defending a human or if someone is illegally on the property. It also allows for discretionary instead of mandatory impoundment of the dog. If a dog is declared dangerous, the owner now has 10 business days to request a hearing. The bill now goes to Governor Rick Scott for his signature. Now time for a look at our weather. We are joined by ABC 7 meteorologist Steve Newman, and what a beautiful day it was.
Yeah, Bob Harrigan was bragging about what a great day it was out on the links. He's heading back to the studio now. And we are going to continue to have mild weather and sunny skies tomorrow. It's going to be probably the nicest day of the weekend, a little cooler coming up. Let's take a look at what it's shaped up today. Our high this afternoon was 65, cooler than normal, but without the wind, it was still very pleasant. Last night's low, not as frosty, got down to 39. Little frost in some inland areas. It's currently 57 degrees at SRQ with a dew point of 49. That will keep temperatures much warmer than we've had for the last couple of nights. Here's our future cast, computer forecast right on into the weekend. That cold air that's going to bring a deep chill to the northeast is going to stay up there, but we will have a little reinforcing cold front enter the state by this time tomorrow night, and Friday night into Saturday morning that front will pass us, and by 7 a.m. it should be right on top of us. Mainly dry. You're seeing a little shower activity underneath that front, but I think that's overblown. We'll probably stay dry, and any showers that do happen will be very light. That front will pass by us Saturday. It'll get very breezy. That's one thing we're going to notice once the front comes by. A little bit cooler by about 3 or 4 degrees. So here's what you need to know. Milder tonight, not as frosty, sunny and mild tomorrow. And Bob is going to be telling you on the Late Show the chance of storms returning early next week. Here's the 7-day forecast showing the breezing conditions Saturday and into Sunday on Valentine's Day. But temperatures are covered to about 72 by Sunday afternoon. Alan?
All right, Steve, thanks a lot. And still to come, former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak. We'll talk to him about ISIS and the growing partisan nature of U.S.-Israeli relations and what that means in the Jewish community, including here on the Suncoast. That story when we come back.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
The way your brain works may depend on the season. Details in Health Smart.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. The all-new MySuncoast.com. Just another way we're here for you.
Insurance companies demand prompt and full payment of your premiums. Shouldn't you receive prompt and full payment of your claims? When you don't, you know who to call. Morgan & Morgan. For the people.
It's President's Day, and we'd suggest a nice long weekend with friends and family on the patio. The Carl's Patio President's Day sale has savings up to 20% or free financing for 4 years. Unique and beautiful outdoor furnishings, including the exclusive Fifth and Shore. Visit all 10 Florida locations to save up to 20% or free financing for 4 years during the Carl's Patio President's Day sale.
I'm Paula Tochitz. Enjoy the Florida lifestyle on the patio. Carl's Patio.
Just because someone grows older, does that mean they have to grow apart from their friends or from the things they love to do? With Right at Home, it doesn't. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to help with personal care, housekeeping, meals, and most of all, staying engaged in life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you ready to go?
Oh, I sure am.
We can provide the right care right at home.
The all-new official Suncoast forecast, only on ABC 7.
He's one of the most respected Israeli leaders of our times. Ehud Barak, the former prime minister of Israel, was in Sarasota this week talking to the Jewish Federation of Sarasota Manatee. We were given an extraordinary opportunity to talk to Israel's former leader about two crucial issues facing Americans and American Jews. Do you think there is a clear strategy that would be successful?
They should be crushed. And they should be crushed on the ground in Iraq and Syria. And they should be crushed by a military force that led by Muslims, not by Christians or not to mention Jews, not by crusaders.
Not the
because
US,
if the US or Europe will attack them directly, it will just energize and even turn in the Muslim Arab world the spirits and the soul for them rather than against them. It should be led on the ground by Muslims and should be supported for technical reasons by air support from the likes of America, intelligence support, or even special forces.
So you're saying no massive U.S. troops. It should be from the Muslim countries or the Arab countries, but they're not doing it.
Now, there is in whole Iraq, there is only one stronghold that remained in their hands, which is Mosul. If Mosul will be taken over by the Iraqi military, supported by air power from others, supported with intelligence, probably supported by some fighting forces of the Kurds, that will close the story in Iraq. But it's not easy in Syria because the Russians are present there. The regime doesn't see it as its major priority, and only the Kurds actually fighting.
And there's been some suggestion, some people even running for president saying Iran should have troops that are in Syria fighting ISIS. Would Israel be uncomfortable with that?
For us, it's quite disappointing or frustrating to see that as a result of following the deal with Iran, you can see that the Iranians now are even increasing their presence in Syria, but their main focus is not ISIS. Their main focus is the other rebels, the ones that we call the moderate rebels, so to speak, which America and other nations, Saudi Arabia, are trying to help in order to topple Assad. So it's far from perfect situation in Syria.
Right. I have heard Israel is uncomfortable with Iranian troops that close to Israeli borders.
We are unhappy with many things, but you know, a person cannot choose his parents, and a nation cannot choose its neighbors. The Middle East is a tough neighborhood, nothing to compare to the Midwest. The good news is that Israel is the strongest power in the region, from Benghazi in Libya, now every American knows where is Benghazi, to Tehran, including these two places. And we are, in the foreseeable future, we will remain the strongest country.
But are you concerned about the fact that the issue of Israel has become so partisan in the United States?
Well, I think that the most urgent issue for us is to resume working relationship with the White House, if possible, even trust. It's not easy these days. And start to work on the issues. You mentioned Iran. We have to sit together with America and make sure that enough intelligence gathering assets will be put on knowing what happens in Iran, to set the triggers, to come to understanding what will define a major violation of the agreement. It's not going to happen in the coming few years because the Iranians will, first of all, make sure they harvest all the profits or the benefits of this deal, but it might wait us still down the stream.
Are you concerned that even domestically here in the United States, whereas Democrats and Republicans were always bipartisan when it comes to Israel, right now there's such polarization that it's affecting the American Jewish community?
Yeah, but polarization didn't start with the friction with Israel or with the Iran deal. Polarization in the American political landscape happens along the last probably 8 years, probably 4 years, and probably will get even worse. I cannot promise you anything on it. Basically, we have a very deep common ground in both interests and values. And I think that it's not healthy to have this relationship hurt. It's not good for Israel, it's not good for America, and it's not absolutely inevitable. It could be corrected.
In the moment, our roundtable.
We used to be a sleepy little seaside town, but oh, how times have changed.
Look at all the cranes downtown. It keeps on growing.
Join ABC 7's Rebecca Vargas for 'Tis the Season Then and Now, tonight at 11 on ABC 7. ABC 7 is giving you the chance to win a luxury cruise for two and escape to Alaska. Tonight's word of the day is Iditarod. Register tonight's word by midnight at mysuncoast.com. Good luck.
Come on and celebrate during the Hyundai President's Day sale. From now until President's Day, everyone gets the presidential treatment on our entire Hyundai lineup. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with America's best warranty. 10 years, 100,000 miles. That's the best in the business. Get up to $3,000 in total savings on both Elantra and Sonata. Or get 0% APR long-term financing across our most popular models. Hurry, it all ends President's Day Monday night. So get to your Suncoast Hyundai dealer today.
It's Mater Brothers Furniture New Year's Savings Event. Save up to 40% on the world's finest quality brands at America's largest selection of Florida coastal furnishings. Mater Brothers Furniture. For over 50 years, Mater Brothers has continued to provide the quality your family trusts and the fashion and customer service you've always come to expect. And with guaranteed lowest pricing, you will save money. Visit any of our showrooms for the New Year's Savings Event and save up to 40% for a limited time only at Mater Brothers Furniture.
Hi, I'm Steve Miles, director of New Music, New College. Since 1998, we've challenged our audiences to rethink notions of music and performance. Join us this season as we present exciting, cutting-edge music performed by New College students and some of the best professional musicians performing today. Coming up, Eliza Ladd and students present a new work that is visual, oral, and physical, Friday, February 12th through Sunday, February 14th at the Black Box Theater. Call 941-487-4888.
Welcome back, and joining us for more on our interview with former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak is Rabbi Jason Rosenberg of Congregation Beth Am in Tampa, and Howard Tevelowitz, the Executive Director of the Jewish Federation of Sarasota and Manatee. Thank you both for joining us. And Howard, let me start with you, because the last thing that the Prime Minister would ever do is talk about U.S. election politics, but in effect he did when he said that he doesn't think that U.S. troops should be involved in terms of fighting ISIS. I was wondering what kind of feedback you got from the audience there, because the audience that are members of the Federation is diverse in terms of their political opinions.
It was actually positive. Look, he had strong opinions from an Israeli perspective about what should be happening in the Middle East. From his perspective, I don't think he was infringing on American politics, and he was very positively greeted, and there was a lot of applause during his speech.
What were people telling you?
There was really very little negative feedback. They were very happy to hear, look, you're dealing with a war hero, you're dealing with someone who's lived through the history of the 20th and 21st century. So look, you have a man with a lot of credentials speaking his mind, and I think people really respected that.
We have been through a difficult period because of the Iran nuclear negotiations and just the perceived frictions between the Obama administration and the Israeli government at this point. Rabbi, are you concerned that in the U.S. and in Jewish communities in the U.S. and our community, that the issue of U.S.-Israeli relations is becoming more polarized or more partisan when it never was to this effect?
I'm becoming concerned, but I'm not becoming panicky about it. This isn't the greatest time in those terms. Certainly, things are more polarized now than they've been in a long time. But I think we tend to overreact. I think we tend to look at that kind of polarization and feel like the sky is falling. There still is a huge amount of support for Israel on both sides of the aisle, certainly in Congress, but even among the rank and file. Democrats and Republicans, largely in the Jewish community, largely love and support Israel. So, yes, it's not as good as it has been. It's not as bad as it seems. And it will get better, and then it'll get worse and better again.
You know, I asked the Prime Minister this question because I see this myself. I asked him about the growing polarization within the Jewish community, and I think we have all seen it. I have been in situations where I've had people say to me, I don't know how a Democrat could be a Jew, or a Jew can be a Democrat. And that is something that obviously was of great concern to the Prime Minister. Are you concerned about what you see in terms of the community and how it's members of the Jewish community are relating to each other, not only at the Federation, but in synagogues around the community?
I think I'm concerned as an American, the way people are talking to each other, the shrill, the difficulty in having a normal tone conversation. We're Americans, and we're going to agree and disagree, and unfortunately, I think the Prime Minister referred to the fact that for 8 years it's been partisan in this country. It's probably a lot longer than that. And we've gotten to this point where I think normal discourse is kind of not there, the way it was in the past.
It definitely frustrates me as a rabbi. I'm probably a bit unrealistic, but in theory, I'd like to think that Jews would learn to be more open-minded while still being opinionated. Our tradition at its best teaches to respectfully disagree and vigorously disagree, but still respectfully. And I might and have disagreed with people politically, but for me to say to someone, if you think that, you're not being a good Jew. If you vote for that person, you're not being a good Jew. That's beyond the pale, and it's just nonsensical. So I think that we have a responsibility to just realize that there are smart people on all sides of these issues, and to listen a little bit before we start name-calling.
One of the things that the Prime Minister said to me is, if you have these disagreements, keep it in the room, which really doesn't seem possible.
No, it's not.
No, what room? Where?
Yeah, which exactly?
Our room, or, you know, amongst ourselves.
Sure, but those walls don't exist anymore. And I think that message really doesn't resonate with the younger generation. This idea of having these cloistered institutions doesn't work for the millennials, and doesn't work for, I mean, certainly people younger than myself. This is the era of open communication. This is the era of open dialogue. And to say to someone, you can think that, but keep it quiet, it may or may not be a good idea, but it's just not going to happen.
And I think we have to fear open conversation. There is nothing wrong with agreeing and disagreeing, and there's nothing wrong with a dialogue that can really lay bare what's going on in this world.
Right, but the temperature is so high, not only in our community, but on college campuses around Florida and around the country. And I hear these stories, whether it's at FSU or USF or UCF, that young people are falling into their lanes in terms of how they look at U.S. and Israel politically. And I am, my question is whether that is damaging the community in total.
I don't think it's damaging the community. Again, I think the lack of understanding of looking at history and putting facts first. It's easy to have an opinion. Unfortunately, it's harder to have a factual-based opinion. And I think some of the issues we're dealing with on campuses are emotional. It is not healthy to have shrill conversation not backed up by facts, and yelling and screaming at people that accomplishes nothing. So I think a lot of what we're dealing with on campuses is negativity, not factual. It's non-fact-based conversations.
What's interesting is you were telling me that the Prime Minister spoke the other night for about an hour and a half.
Almost an hour and a half, yeah.
He was in Tampa last year, also spoke for over an hour, and I'm wondering if people are really learning, at least from his perspective, about what's happening in the Middle East and seeing the forest through the trees.
I'd like to think so. I mean, we know that we live in an age of echo chambers where people are tending to read online pieces they already agree with. So I think it's probably a little bit hopeful to think that a speech or two, even by someone as brilliant as Ehud Barak, can really turn people around. But maybe some people listened and realized that there's some room in the middle for some thoughtful dialogue.
Well, I'll say this. It was positive. He spoke positively for an hour and a half. Incredible.
Novel in this
I know, in this
political
day and age,
season.
can you imagine actually having positive, forward-thinking conversation?
Right. And we're going to have to leave it there. I want to thank both of you for joining us tonight, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you.
Won't you be my, won't you be my, won't you be my Valentine? Because I adore you, I'd give anything for you. You make me smile, smile, smile.
Valentine's Day is the perfect time to show someone how much you love them with a stunning gift of jewelry from Coffrin Jewelers. We have the perfect gift for any age and any budget, and a professional staff that will help you find that something special. Visit Coffrin Jewelers in Sarasota today.
For the last 60 years, Mote Marine Laboratory and Aquarium has explored the premise that humankind's well-being is dependent on the ocean's well-being, and that the ocean's well-being is dependent on the passion and dedication of ocean scientists. Today, the well-being of Mote depends on you. Please give today.
Don't let our winter temperatures fool you. Whether it's day or night, your AC system still needs proper maintenance to run efficiently. Before spring hits, let Veteran Air inspect your AC system. We service, maintain, and replace all AC systems.
This month only, buy your air conditioning system from Veteran Air Conditioning and receive a 10-year parts and labor warranty absolutely free. But hurry, offer ends this month. When you need a repair, call Veteran Air.
The 112th Florida State Fair is much more than... It's also attractions. And animals. And then there's fun. And don't forget the food and concerts. There's so much more to explore at the Florida State Fair, February 4th through 15th. Purchase at the gate or save time online at floridastatefair.com.
Welcome back, and finally tonight we have some breaking news from overseas. Reports are coming in that a Syrian ceasefire agreement has been reached. 17 nations were meeting in Munich, Germany today, including the United States and Russia. Humanitarian aid will start to flow into Syria beginning on Saturday, with a ceasefire to follow a week from then. But we still like to hear what you think about tonight's topic. So if you would like to join the conversation, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. And that is all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
Download ABC7's official Suncoast weather app onto your iPhone, Droid, or iPad.
You'll have all kinds of great weather features at your fingertips, and it's free.
The official Suncoast weather from ABC7. Download yours today.
Bright House Networks is keeping you connected with a TV and internet bundle for only $89 per month. Our services include plenty of extra features and apps that keep you connecting wherever you are. Internet customers get free antivirus downloads and access to over 450,000 Wi-Fi hotspots. TV customers can watch TV everywhere and manage their DVR with the BHTV app. And thanks to mobile devices and apps, along with super fast internet and thousands of secure Wi-Fi hotspots, we help you connect to what matters most anytime, anywhere. Pick your perfect bundle. Call 855-833-9390 now and get Premier TV and 25 meg internet for only $89 per month for 12 months. That's 855-833-9390 or visit letsconnect.com/89.
Sure, you think of Acura as luxury, performance, race-inspired, stylish luxury. But now, you should think of Acura as safe. It's the first luxury brand awarded top safety ratings across